Looking good, looking good. This way. One more. There we go. There we go. I get lost in them. I did it. Hurt my arm a little earlier, so I'm not gonna hold that thing too long. But welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. Of course, this is gonna be the Super Bowl edition. Um, I am Big Pontiac. I am a Wind. I'm also Time Lord. I also am the holder of the Infinite Ball Game created by the Hero Twins. That is why I'm so hard on these fixed sports. And I am also the Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. I'm drinking Summit Bach. Maybe it's not Summit, I'd have to look. Shell, local company, Shell Bach. So drink them if you want them, or pop them if you want them, smoke them if you got them. So as you know, kind of was right. I made a nice little chunk on the Super Bowl tonight. The over and under was 48. I got it, the game was 43, so they done paid me. That's what I like about gambling with houses. They don't be late. Soon as it turns zero, you look at your account. They filled it before you can scream and shout. Oh, let me say what's happening to everybody. King, what's happening? When the Bengals was about to score at the end of the second, and two, Joe Burrow threw the ball up high out of bounds. His running back open right down the middle. Adrian, what's happening? Hey, what's up, Mr. Lamborghini? Get bullshit. Hey, it lined my pockets. Joe Burrow and the Bengals was looking sad coming into the game. Makes sense. Uh, just like we said, Rams would win after last team to beat Brady. There you go. There you go. There you go. You was right. Rams won. That's most of my money was on, but the over and under, baby. Bengals still no championship like the Chargers, Falcons, Titans, Lions, Cardinals. Yeah. Good job on the under. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm like, yeah, that shit hit like the game is over. It was like 10, 15 seconds. Boom. Elevator, brother. Like right on. But I don't know if the right people are listening. Somebody the last couple days predicted Odell's fake injury. Now watch him come out and say Burrow got hurt on that play, so that affected him. But I think the best call I made was what I say. They don't like new people to win. They don't like new people to win. Oh, there we go. And so that was what I was basing everything on, is they don't like new teams to win. And so again, we see a new team, not winning. Yep. Oh yeah, Zach had Bengals for 2 weeks now. He blew that. But see, that's again, he ain't analysis. He don't look at anything but the numbers. That's strictly what he goes by. He doesn't go by the entertainment aspect of sports. He doesn't go by the history of sports. It was another game and early NFC championship game. Now, let me tell you what they did in that game. This was NFL championship. It was 30s or 40s. It was the Giants and somebody, I believe. The field is icy. Now, sometimes it gets so cold where the old-fashioned cleats. Now, I'm old enough to know what the old-fashioned cleats was like. They had little steel tips. The old-fashioned cleats, you could wear cleats with little steel tips. Then don't you know it gets so cold with them steel tips, you be on top of the ice field. Your cleats won't stick into the grass. The grass gets that frozen. So you know what the Giants do? Or it was the Giants, Redskins, some team on the East. I should grab a book. I was thinking about this earlier. So they go get the team tennis shoes. Because tennis shoes, as you know, one thing about tennis shoes in the winter, they got great traction if you don't get wet. And when you go over ice, tennis shoes are there's some types of ice where tennis shoes are perfect for it. And that's what they do. Now, you see, that should be illegal. Both teams should get tennis shoes. So you see how they fixed it even back then? Numbers is bullshit. It proves Bengals had way more numbers. Yeah, that's all. They robbed the Bengals with the flags. I don't think so. I mean, the touchdown the Bengals got was an obvious pass interference that they ignored. And then the Rams didn't even challenge it. Now, I don't know if you can challenge that or not, but that was just blatant. He blatantly grabbed him by the face mask and threw him down. How are you calling that? And Lobo, my man, I'm going to shout out to my man Lobo. Lobo did good work on that same play. So check Lobo workout. And I think he's going live right now. You had him from Detroit, Stafford from Detroit. Remember I said they let Cincinnati in the college playoffs and let the Bengals in the Super Bowl, but they weren't letting them win. Well, they need new teams to win. That's the biggest thing that I've been saying for a month. They don't like new teams to win. Yes, my Eagles was a new team in 2017, but remember the Eagles did win an NFL championship, but as far as Super Bowls, they haven't. And you can say the same thing for Detroit. Detroit ain't won a Super Bowl. I think they won back-to-back NFC championships in 54, 55 with Bobby Lane. Bengals got away with a face mask. Yeah, that was nasty. That was nasty. They let that go. Rams down the game. Take away the Higgins touchdown. The Higgins touchdown should have been called back. And OBJ was killing him. But I think, again, I can see how you wrench your knee, but whoever watches me and commented. You called that like last week. Hey, Win, what up? You smoking on, bruh? I'm a cigar man myself. This is I just chew them, but this is Acid 1400. And what I learned is they're packed tighter. And I eat them, but they're packed tighter. That's why I like them. These being glass, because I got one the other day and it was dry, so they dried out in their humidor. But I like this is Acid 1400. I like the sweet cigars, and I chew on them. I don't smoke them. I chew on them. Maybe in the summer I might smoke a few, but I mostly just chew on them. Oh, very kind words. Peace to you. I still want to see Mahomes and Team Lightskin in the Super Bowl. I mean, it was a hype for Burrow, And then I started putting together about Joe Cap. Everybody was saying that Joe's always win. And then I was like, no, Joe Cap lost when he played for the Vikings. The Vikings' first Super Bowl. Joe Cap was lost to Lynn Dawson. But what I did like is they brought back Bobby Bell. Bobby Bell here to the University of Minnesota and played in the AFL. He played in the AFL before the merger. And Bobby Bell, I'm pretty sure, he played in the first game. And then it was Willie. I ain't write it down. Willie. I can't think of the Packers' name, but he's still alive. I thought I wrote his name down. Oh, Bobby Bell and Willie Davis. Here we go. Both players from Super Bowl I. And, these cats, man, the cats from Super Bowl I, you know how old them cats are now? Man, them cats from Super Bowl I, shit, Bobby Bell got to be close to 80. Got to be. Willie Davis probably in his 80s. So those cats are slowly passing. They played in Super Bowl I. I've watched every Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl I was 5, 6, and we had a color TV. Matter of fact, I got my grandfather made furniture. He made metal furniture. He had his own business at one time. And the table that first color TV was on, where I used to watch the Green Hornet and Batman, I had that table. I've had this table since I was 5 years old. I mean, it was in our front room. It was in our front room when we had the color TV. But once we moved, it went in my room from the time I was 5 years old till I graduated. And then when I graduated, I took that table with me. And this is let me tell you, was bogus is when my ex stole all my furniture, she stole that table. She stole my grandfather's table. I had to go to court through my divorce to get my fucking table back. That was part of the divorce settlement. And that's some bullshit. But I see the patterns. Like again, biggest thing was they weren't going to let a new team in. Not to say every now and then they don't. And somebody put some good information that says new teams are winning in every 4 years. Should have been the Chiefs-Rams Super Bowl. Yeah, that is crazy. She took my goddamn table. And y'all want to get a laugh? I am not above laughing at my goddamn self. But let me show you some goofy shit. So this is Star Trek and shit, right? And look at this goddamn shirt. Ain't this like Captain Kirk and shit? Made my shirt Captain Kirk like a motherfucker. They had the round collar because this is, second generation. But, this is Captain Kirk like a motherfucker. Because I bought it for like $11 for pennies. And when I put it on, I was like, oh, this is some Captain Kirk shit. So excuse the Captain Kirk gear today. I got the Captain Kirk. But yeah, I got the Rams. Oh, but the Rams didn't cover. The Rams didn't cover. They did not cover. It was 4. That's why they missed that extra point early in the game not to cover. Rams only won by 3. Matter of fact, last night they was giving up. I got one bet where I got 5.5. I picked up one bet where the Rams was giving up 5.5. That covered. 3, 4 didn't cover. Yeah, they didn't cover. Rams didn't cover. 5.5 did. And I picked that bet up last night. So, the thing was, again, the biggest tell was they tend not to let new teams win. That to me is the biggest tell right there, is they tend not to let new teams win. This is Cincinnati's 3rd loss. The Vikings lost 4. Buffalo lost 4. And I was thinking, like, when the Bengals was going on that last drive, I was looking at that young kicker, and I was like, I hope they don't scar him like they did the kicker from Buffalo. I was like, this young kicker has tied a playoff record for the most field goals. He tied Vinatieri. And I was like, don't scar him and make him miss. Because that's what I felt, is he was gonna miss, but he didn't. Overall, did y'all notice all the melanated praising? You know, God Bless America, melanated girl, national anthem, melanated girl, that lift every voice and sing shit. Did y'all see that shit? His story. Shocked how Stafford did not get MVP. 2 interceptions, hard to give it to him. He had 2 interceptions. That's sloppy interception. The one in the end zone made no sense. All he had to do was really air the ball out, and he didn't. He took something off of it. What was the Bills kicker name? Noah, something like that. They talked to him this week. That shit always come up. But, you know, that's what everybody, I mean, it's a scar like a motherfucker. You know, even though it's scripted, that's what everybody says to him. Damn, you missed the money kick. But yeah, all the melanated people at the beginning of the Super Bowl. I'll tell you something I didn't pick up until the coin toss. Remember, I was saying this is Bacchus Super Bowl. This was Bacchus Super Bowl. Matter of fact, I found a picture of Bacchus with horns. Well, it was like halftime. I was like, look up Bacchus. I actually found a picture of Bacchus wearing some goddamn horns. And so that was like, I got it. Scott Norwood, here we go. Scott Norwood, that's his name. They've been interviewing him all week. Scott Norwood, that's right. So, but what I didn't realize until the coin toss was the Bengals was Bacchus and you had Solus being the Rams. I did not pick that up because when the Bengals, like, I'm looking at all this orange, I'm like, okay, they Bacchus. And then, you know, the under god was Solus, which is the yellow. So that I was like, wow, those are tails. And then they said, this is what the announcer said at the beginning of the game. Teams that lost coin toss usually lose the game. Don't say we didn't warn you. I was like, look at this shit here. But you guys noticed Beckham made the touchdown over number 21. We got 2 + 1 = 3. Beckham wore 3. I guess, and I got this from Lobo, but Lobo motivated me. But the last person to win a NCAA championship and the Super Bowl is Joe Namath. And so, of course, Burrows. So, you know, the Super Bowl colors, you had the big color orange, but if you looked at the bottom of it, it was yellow. Now, not on the uniforms. The uniforms, they just had all orange. But if you looked at the theme, it was all orange with the yellow on the bottom. The yellow is for Solus. Beckham, you know, again, one of the people to watch, they brought up took the money, $10, took my money on the money line. This was going to give out 200. If any team scored TD, I haven't got my money yet. Yeah, I got my money hit. I did DraftKings and a couple other ones. Shit, it was like, I'm telling you, not 10 seconds when I got that over and under money. And I'm like, ooh, you know, but they didn't cover. Hey, Nicole, thanks for joining. Hey, what's good, A-Win? Mad respect on calling the line, spreading under. One of the first things I saw in the game was the presentation of Rams Super Bowl merch. Yeah, I saw that too, the Super Bowl merch. But whoever called out, if you're listening, you know, write something, get in the comments. You know, in the first half, the Bengals didn't have any penalties. I think they only ended up with 3 or 4, and that was late. That was late in the game. No penalties for the Bengals. So, yeah, at the end of the game, they had 2. But, yeah, they didn't cover. 43 is bingo. So, the best commercial. The best commercial was that football commercial. That most commercials was like, man, but they called football commercial because remember the video game where you play like in the streets? That's what the commercial was kind of based on. That was the best one to me. That was the best one. What's good, A-Win? But yeah, the Super Bowl merch and the colors, just didn't see it for the Bengals. Second half, talented actors, poor script. There you go. First play, the second half. Yeah. But the face mask now call made no sense. Like because they lost, people ain't gonna talk about it. People aren't gonna talk about the face mask because they lost. If they would have won, the face mask would have been everywhere. Why wasn't that called? Why wasn't that taken back? Yep. The Bengals think would have taken Cup away. That was the Rams' only threat. Well, I'll say this. He missed Jefferson. He missed Jefferson in the end zone when he was open. And he been making that throw, and Jefferson been making them catches. Missed him. He missed him down both sidelines. He missed him down both sidelines. It was like they weren't going to let Jefferson get off because Jefferson, again, he had a touchdown, and he threw a terrible pass. Remember how Hunt jumped up? Jefferson and Hunt about the same size. He could have thrown him a good pass in the end zone, and that would have been an easy score. Easy score. So, oh, there's my man. Hey, Conspiracy University, what's happening? I still got to give you a call, brother. Conspiracy University, what's happening? We just doing the recap of the Super Bowl. Yeah, and it was just the things that okay. One thing that if you guys didn't see my post, Mary J. Blige wore the cheetah print. Did you guys anybody peep that out? Mary J. Blige. Now it was done in crystals or it was done in glass, but that was cheetah print. That was cheetah print. So I don't know if anybody picked that up, but that was cheetah print. 50 cents. They're horrible. I was like, why didn't they just have him pan? You know, why didn't they just have him pan out? I didn't get that. Why didn't they just play, music? Why they have him sing live? It was like they turned down the music play and let him be live. And oh my goodness, he didn't have any air. And remember in his other video, he got a 6-pack and everything. I'm like, but overall, it was entertaining. Colored folks, we can make some shit entertaining. It was entertaining. I was, the whole time I was just stuck. I was like, oh shit. And so I enjoyed it. Yeah, Eminem. Eminem. When you saw Dre do the piano solo, you saw Eminem bend down with the black shroud over his head again. That's for your Batha, the Baphomet, Samuel, Baal. I mean, it was all that. Now, this can mean funk. I ain't really, that don't bother me because we did that for George. George Clinton did that. I know the Mag Man, the devil horns, that's bullshit. That mean, matter of fact, this is going to come from Hindu and shit. So it's older than what they trying to make it. So I ain't got no problem with that shit. It ain't me siding, but it's just like, that don't necessarily mean anything, so, yeah, when he bent down, I don't know if people peeped that shit out. He had the shroud over his head. I don't know if people really picked it up, but that was deep when Eminem did that. That was all thanking your Batha. Sometimes I forget to mention was Marv Levy was doing Chucky Soup commercial. Back in the day, only Super Bowls winner did that commercial. So this should have been a hint that the Rams would win. Yeah, because, McNabb did that commercial, though. McNabb did that commercial. Remember? Donovan McNabb did that commercial, too. There's a couple other people. And Eminem's clone is also. But it was entertaining. It was visually cool. Really, they did when, what's his name? The LA guy came out of the boxes. That was cool. And then Anderson .Paak playing the drums, I mean, that's the thing that's how you shine. It's like he didn't need to sing. He didn't need to be headline. I'm playing the drums and I'm right front and center. So good move on Anderson .Paak. And Anderson .Paak is motherfucking Dre's guy. Oh, but I was gonna say the little short guy. Oh my goodness, he was really short compared to everybody else. But when he was in the boxes, did y'all look how the neighborhoods look like circuits too? I don't know if anybody picked that up. It looked like circus when he came out. Kendrick Lamar. When Kendrick Lamar came out of the boxes, but when they first showed the overview shot, the neighborhoods looked like circuits. I don't know if people caught that. So it was entertaining. Skinny jeans. It's funny. I wear mostly straight legs, but not skinny jeans. I remember my ex bought me, like she paid a nice little sum and bought me some shit on Christmas. And it was some fucking skinny jeans. Yeah, them motherfuckers disappeared. Oh, there he is. Edward, what's happening? I'm chilling, I'm chilling. Just watch this game. I didn't cook shit. I got plenty. I got steak in there. I didn't cook. I was going to cut up some potatoes. Shit, I got some goddamn salsa. Got the smoking, got the drinking, didn't cook a goddamn thing. And I took my daughter. I don't think my daughter went to lacrosse because they was calling me and shit as I was doing work. Maybe they did, but I don't think so. But up here, the game started early. The game started at 5. So, but it's just another thing. Is just we pay attention to the shit. I do it the corruption, the way they corrupt what the Hero Twins meant as a spiritual thing. Sports is really supposed to be spiritual. I mean, like just think like how free you feel when you was little and could just run. Like I was talking to one of my homeboys and he talked about how when they got out of school, they would race to the gate to see who was the fastest. And then do you remember the freedom of just running? Hey CJ, what's happening? There was some good looking clones at the halftime show. but 50 Cent, like, remember he was all cut and shit. And then they tried to give him, the shirt that looked like body armor. Yeah, and that shit was all pudgy down in the middle. It was just funny because before he was all cut and shit. And that motherfucker was like, will you find me in the club? I mean, he was just struggling to say that shit. Will you find me in the club? But it was jamming. Like I said, I was like this the whole time. I was like, shit. I was getting it in the whole, it was like, it was cool. Of course, the Rams won. They missed the extra points, so they didn't cover the 4-point spread. Exactly. But I got in late last night, a 5-point spread. Yeah, 50 Cent was terrible. He was terrible. They should have just played the music, because they played some of the other music. Snoop was funny, but Snoop showing, the Crip shit. But he had the Ram, Dre was just in the all black. Eminem was in all black, but Eminem bending, and I tried to rewind because I should have recorded that shit because there was a lot more to break down on that halftime shit. But I broke down Mary J. I definitely broke down Mary J. She had that cheetah print. I don't care if it's glass, light, that shit was cheetah print. So she was showing you that she's in the club. So it was, the halftime was cool though. It was like the vibe never stopped. The vibe never stopped. The production was outstanding. Whoever designed that set, and you got to give to Jay-Z because Jay-Z is the head of that. So you gotta give hands off to Jay-Z. The production was outstanding. It was outstanding production. And then they even had motherfuckers sleepwalking. It's like, that's some disrespectful shit, really. But they had motherfuckers sleepwalking, and it's kind of disrespectful. Oh, God, missed one. He had the Baphomet. Exactly. They were black for the Saturn worship as well. Yep. Snoop Dogg had that Baphomet suit on. Okay, I can feel that. I feel that. I was gonna take a Bengals in the points. I would have won. Yeah, you'd have won. You definitely would have won. Well, not on the 5.5. You wouldn't have, but you would have won on the 4. Yeah. Because one of my bets I hedged, I hedged my shit. And I won a little money on because I hedged my bet. I got the 4. But I bet more money on the Rams. But the over and under was where I put most of my money, and that shit hit nice. Kendrick's performance and the blonde hair dancers was what was that? What about Odell with the pink and shit? Like I was listening to Lobo before I came on. It's like Lobo said Odell been popped, and I'm like, I can't say I don't know, but that pink hair, why? That wasn't Rodman like. When Rodman was getting that money, he wasn't wearing pink like that. Eminem only got one song, Disrespect. Yeah, that's true. They let it, but he closed the show. He closed the show, really. He really closed the show. I guess Mary J is a handler now. Shit, she been a handler. She been past that. I think with Jodeci, I think that was her first. Well, Puffy was probably her first handlers, but her and Jodeci. And I'll tell a little funny Mary J. Blige story. Her dad must have been a vet because the town I was living in, Battle Creek, Michigan, was a town of vets. It's a veteran hospital there. And so one morning, I don't know what I was doing out, but one morning I'm cruising and I see a New York Jeep just pass me, and it's like the way it looked like the motherfucker really was just driving, like joyriding. And my ex had all them drug problems, and she calls me later like, guess whose car I was in? I'm like, what, a Jeep from New York? She's like, how did you know? That's I think her dad's name is Joe. And he got a picture of her, and we gave him some stuff, and we got to take his truck. True story, because they was the daddy, the dude from Jodeci, and her was all crack, well, not crack, but a freebase. Then I'm saying it was looking rigged for the Bengals, and then suddenly the bottom drops out. And yeah, Zach, now to Zach. Odell and that Russell Westbrook crap, the man had 200,000 diamond cleats on. Wow. I didn't know that. 200 million? Or 200,000 diamond cleats on. I didn't know that. And, again, they got Russell Westbrook with Goodell. Russell Westbrook is going to be in the commissioner's office. This is the second Super Bowl where you see them together. Matter of fact, wasn't they together on the national championship games? Where they were sitting together. So you can look for him to be in the commissioner's office, no doubt. No doubt about that. But it was entertaining. The game was entertaining. I made a little money, and that's always good. But I think my best is just, again, looking at they don't like new winners. They like repeaters. Russell Wilson. Yeah, Russell Wilson is going to end up in the commissioner's office, I think. I had fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Zach better admit he was wrong on this pick, or he'll call us losers like always. Of course he is. Hey, Liquefier. Zach ain't going to admit it. The year of the Tiger. What happened to the year of the Tiger? I was just looking at that shit, and of course, heads up, the Rams had the far better defense, and you knew, hell, the Titans' defense wasn't even that good. Yeah, I thought the Rams was done when OBJ went down. I think a lot of people did. Russell Wilson, second time watching the Super Bowl with Goodell. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they watched the national championship game together too. I'm pretty sure. But so look for him when he retired to be in the office. He's going to be in the office. They wanted us to think that. So I think that's what that's a setup about. And that's how they move. They move like that. That's how they move. Try to show you, them together. Like I've said before, Goodell is the one that came up with the Tuck rule. You can find that as I'm making popular, look it up. But you can find that Goodell was the one that figured out the Tuck rule. He's the one that was like, hey, do this and we'll back it. But that, that showed you more the fix more than ever. And so anybody that thinks what you just saw wasn't entertainment. I mean, what did he say? What did Goodell say? This was pure Hollywood. Remember when Goodell got to give his speech? He said, what could be better Hollywood or some shit like that? Russell Wilson are down with the agenda. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think his wife was his handler, or his. Oh, Paper Rams were a way better team taking the script out. Bengals didn't get out of the first round. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they didn't. I mean, you take 9 sacks and you win. What could be more scripted than that? 9 sacks. I don't know.
What? How do you know?
I don't know. I put the shit in the back of the fridge. I think so. I think it's thawed. So, Colts said they trading or releasing Wirtz. This man's either a droid or going to Colts or Andrew Luck coming back. Oh, they're releasing Wirtz.
How are you doing the show?
Probably for another half hour or so.
Oh, I was trying to make time.
Well, you're going to have to wait till I get done. I'll clean all that up and then you can do it. But I'm going to go for at least another half hour. They're getting rid of Wirtz. Yeah. I think Wirtz's injury was fake from the, I think about when they was in it was like the 15, 16, 17 game, however many games it was that season. It's hard to keep track because there's more games, but I think it was the 15th or 16th game. Wirtz was the MVP. Wirtz was going to be the MVP, and then he gets hurt. That looked so fake. It looked like a great production, one of those Hollywood studios. Oh yeah, but it was some thought. And it's colored folks can get the shit and make the shit entertainment. Lots of blonde hair. I noticed. Aaron Rodgers, you mean Aaron Rodgers going to the Colts? Yeah, he's getting up out of Green Bay. Will they let him win? I don't think they're gonna let him win because Brett Favre didn't win. Brett Favre never got any better. I mean, Brett Favre was like with Brett Favre, the Vikings should have won. because Brett Favre was roughed when they destroyed his ankle. But the thing was, Brett Favre couldn't have played in the Super Bowl. But they had the far better team. But it was like rough. They called roughing because they did. That was the Saints trying to hurt people. And then the very next play, when Favre threw the interception to number 18 going across, they destroyed Favre's ankle. Destroyed it. And he was destroyed for the next season. But the Vikings had a great team that year. And let's not go back to when the Falcons beat them and Randall Cunningham underthrew Randy Moss, who had a 10 yards open over his nearest receiver. And Randall Cunningham threw a duck up in the air. And then Anderson missed the Anderson missing the tying field goal wasn't the play. The play was a touchdown to Randy Moss. And that was the best team in the league that year. In the halftime commercial, ain't that a thing? Yeah. A thing is a spell. What better option out there, Luck or Rodgers? Colts don't have a first-round pick. I would say Rodgers. That's what I would say. I would say Rodgers. Rodgers is the good fit there. But Denver, too, because Rodgers, offensive coordinator, I believe, went to Denver. So don't count Denver out. Don't count Denver out. Hey, what's up, Derek? Yeah, Adrian Peterson, they say he popped his wife on the plane. Say he smacked her. But what's funny is he gets arrested, goes to jail. She flies off. She comes back, and they go to some fucking awards together. So it can't be that big a deal. The plane had to land. And so obviously he looked like he popped his wife. Ramsey said they had to throw the game for Brady in Jayville. Marcus Peters said the same thing with Chiefs, was traded to the Rams. They rigged everything for Brady. Oh, of course, his whole career. Hey, Ben, what's happening? Thank you for joining. Brady's whole career, every game was scripted. Every game. To the Colts. Yeah, I see him. I see Rodgers going to Denver right now. But I mean, for the people that don't understand the scripting, for them, they got entertained, and that's all they care about. As I said, we all practice the ritual just by fucking watching, giving our energy to it. Now here we even talking that shit, and that's what I was trying to say. The Bengals would have won. The game is not going to live very long. Now the Rams winning at home is going to live a little longer. So it's going to be interesting what the talking heads say. But yeah, a game where you play and your quarterback gets sacked 9 times, come on. There's no way that you can justify that. No way you can justify them winning. Kyler leaving Arizona, is this his option year? No, he's only in his 3rd year. This ain't his option year, unless they trade him. Miami with the quarterback. And that show you, this is how bogus they do. The quarterback for Miami, that came in and won the national championship, they got him hurt on purpose. He got hurt, and Saban left him in when they was blowing the team out. And them 2 players, when they fucked his hip up, that was on purpose. And that's affected him. He has not been the same quarterback. What do you think made Luck retire early? I mean, you got to understand the health issues that people have. I mean, what did OJ have? 30-some surgeries. That dude they call Stink, that played for Denver and the Redskins, 15 surgeries on one knee. Luck was, so it's get tired of rehabbing all the time. I mean, rehab is like a job. Like I got to get up and go to therapy in the morning. Rehab become like a job. You got to get up and go rehab. I mean, that it takes a toll on you, a mental toll on you. You got to just sit there. You got to just, depending on what you're getting done, a lot of times you're just sitting there. Like if you're getting STEM, you're getting a TENS unit, you're just sitting there. So it's time, rehab takes a lot of time. And just like Peyton went to Denver, yeah, just like Peyton. And Peyton couldn't even throw. Remember they took that tall 6'7" dude, played some of the medium games, but that was a terrible script. And then they asked Peyton, he does the Papa John shit, he does the Budweiser. I mean, come on. That dude never had a strong arm even in college. He was a worse script than Brady, because both of them dudes didn't have a lot of talent. They just had the name. But again, if you look at losing, they made the daddy lose. I mean, Manning, or the other Manning in New York, he probably shouldn't even make this the Hall of Fame. I mean, Manning, you know, how many games did Manning lose when my cousin Tony was coaching the goddamn Colts? And then the best kicker in the league, the highest paid kicker in the league, misses a field goal to tie it, you know, to help them go to the Super Bowl. And I remember Tony's expression, he missed. Yeah. Do you think they ever build a melanated quarterback like they had Brady? You know, one thing about my other channel they took down, what was it? The Watt brother. I did a video on the Watt brother that destroyed Cam's shoulder. And Cam ain't never been the same quarterback since. I showed the video where that dude goes after Cam's shoulder. It was on my other channel before they erased it. He went after Cam's shoulder. They hurt people on purpose. And Cam has never been accurate since the shoulder injury. They definitely did it on purpose and made sure Luck was on the field when the retirement announcement. So the Colts fan looked like bad guys and Luck got his sympathy. Yeah. Unfollowing, he unfollowed them. Luck was getting popped. Oh yeah, his last couple years was terrible. They had a terrible line. Peyton said he didn't have feelings in his fingertips after the neck surgery. Yeah, and he sat out a year. Remember, Peyton sat out a year because of it. But he never had like a deep arm. I saw dancers dressed as gangsters for the halftime show. That reminded me of record producers was making gangster rap. If this being Generation Assembly line. Crip walking. These motherfuckers is, you know, they fucking crip walking. I was like, God damn, that's some bold shit to do. I remember when they scripted him his last Super Bowl versus Cam. Yeah. Oh, that was a terrible one. Like, people don't remember that Super Bowl. Cam, there was a play where the receiver dove down and got the ball. It was going to be first down, them driving. They called it a no catch, and then the next is the strip fumble touchdown. Come on. You take away that catch and momentum, and then the next play, he strip fumbles touchdown. That's why he wore gloves with the Broncos. Dwayne, what's happening? Early prediction for next season. I think Rodgers. That's what we've been talking about. I think Rodgers is going to end up in Denver. His coordinator went to Denver, so I'm thinking Rodgers to Denver. That's what I'm guessing. Ooh. But even Rodgers, you can see that, you know, with his toe injury, these cats is old. These cats ain't young no more. And that's the thing is, you know, them straight up drop back kind of dudes. Rodgers doesn't have the mobility. Back then, I didn't know about scripts. Okay, yeah, I can understand that. Seattle next year, I think. I don't know, man. They got a lot of holes. They got a lot of holes to fill. You know, Westbrook or Russell running from his life. For some of these teams need a few pieces to get to the Super Bowl, and these teams blatantly don't draft or find a free agent to help those areas. That's scripted too. Absolutely. Like you know, one of Zach's guys was saying, how do they know so far ahead? I mean, what you have to understand is there are eyes on these people. Well, I'll say one brother said, what did Rambo say? Rambo said a lot of times it's the dates they born, and they watch those people. And then handlers come in early. Like my first handler for sports, I was 3rd or 4th grade. And I watched this dude handle a lot of people. He wasn't a weirdo or nothing like that, but I just think he was part of handling. I really do. What are we thinking for the NBA? I'm still thinking Philadelphia, and I think somebody said the Philadelphia, and somebody said the Warriors. That's a Wilt Chamberlain tribute. So I think the Warriors in Philadelphia right now. Denver is where the old quarterback finished. Yeah, we had the old, you know, Elway played there forever. You know, they let Manning go there. Teddy Bridgewater is actually pretty good. Teddy is pretty good, but Teddy's injury prone. I mean, fucking Teddy took a step and almost died. I mean, you know, like when you tear that shit in your knee where Teddy tore it, and so did one of the Bears had the same injury. That shit can kill you. You can tear that tendon that goes, the blood flow that goes into your patella. If you tear that shit, the shit, you could die. Teddy took a step that almost killed him. And just in practice, he just took a random step. Whoops. Dudes and gangsters brainwashed and looking foolish after they 35s. Snoop is a crab. Ah, he is, and it does. I mean, these guys, I think Slide was saying motherfuckers be 50 wanting to rap and shit. It's not a good look. 50 want to rap. Uh, on Dame's situation in Portland. Dame had the stomach surgery. They took away Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood wasn't really playing up there. CJ. They've got a decent team. I'll tell you who Sabonis got traded to. Whoever that team, they looked pretty good the other night. They beat the Timberwolves. Whoever Sabonis got traded to, he be killing them. Maybe Rodgers to Pittsburgh. Could be, because Harkins ain't going to play there. Harkins ain't ready. You could be right, though. Rodgers to Pittsburgh. I hadn't thought about that because Pittsburgh's still a decent team, made the playoffs. I mean, they made the playoffs because of script. Sixers for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking Sixers. It's hard for me to get over to say, well, Hardy win one. It was just like when Jerry West finally won, they let Oscar win one. Because Oscar should have won two. They should have won in 74 when they let that, I think it was Havlicek's last year. Dave Collins, though. Dave Collins, 6'8". Yeah. But that was, look up that Jabbar game 6 where Jabbar sky hooks and wins game 6. That shit is sweet. You know, Jabbar, most unstoppable shot ever. So like people said about they showed it again with LeBron having the greatest total points of any player. That's a hell of a thing that he beat Jabbar, total points with the playoffs included. So Harden will never win a ring. Good thing Brooklyn got is going. Yeah, that's my thing. Is like he's a lovable loser. That is my only thing that to me makes that very iffy. Warriors win. Beat them. They go to the finals. Warriors beat them because I don't think they're gonna ever let Harden win one. I've said that. I'm on wax saying that for a year now, but I've been saying that. But I say, you look at Oscar Robertson, they did let him win one. So maybe that's my only thing is I know Oscar was leading the league again, triple doubles when people didn't know about triple doubles and assists. I still think Lakers versus the Sixers, tribute to Kobe. I don't know. They really gonna have to change the way they play. Well, something to look out for as far as figuring what's something to look out for as far as figuring out who's one of our handlers. They're always older. They're generally older, and generally, as you move, they kind of move too. And where it's almost like they intercede. They like as you're moving, you could have known them before, but as you move up, they're kind of there too. Or they help you move up. It's like I know a dude that was like had to be a handler for my son. This guy I cracked on him to put my son on the team. And this guy like bought him all the stuff, took my son. Like it was like my car was broke down. I was catching the bus to work. So I was like, Tony, I can't pick him up and take him. Can you do that? He picked my son up. He took my son to practice. When they traveled, he fed him. They gave him sweats and everything, but he was a handler. Now he ended up going to jail and doing some time because he was into some shit. Because this motherfucker was living in a mansion on the Mississippi River. We would go places like, I own this lot out here. And so he was driving an S-Class back in 9 or 10, brand new. I mean, his house was, because I looked at a house next to it. His house was $2-3 million. I mean, he was living in a for real house. I mean, that shit was cool, but I know he was a handler. Let me tell you my handlers. So you can have negative handlers. Like my high school coaches was handlers. My high school coach was the type of handler. And then when I moved to Greensboro, there was a handler down there. Because he ended up giving me a job for the water department. But I know my aim of all of them was to make me a cop. And I'm sure if I'd have stayed in Greensboro for another couple of years, because 2 or 3 of my teammates became cops. And I had applied, and I had already worked for the city for 3 years. So it was just, I just hated living in the South. So the thing to look at is, look at a person that's been in the, you got to look at a person that's really been in the pocket. And as you move, they kind of move too. They're generally older. generally older. So that's one of the things, but they be in the pocket. That's the only way best way I can describe it. If you know what I'm saying. They like no matter what they kind of be in their pocket. They be in the pocket, if you dig what I'm saying. So that's the thing to look for. It's like, oh, and even like their advice they give you. Look at the advices. Like you listen to some of the advice and say, damn, that's agenda advice. I guess that's the easiest way. It's like they give you advice, but the advice be agenda like a motherfucker. And then you go over your relationship with them and you see how they should be agenda. Like I said before, the Freemasons, the Prince Hall, no, maybe it was the other, not the Prince Hall, but they offered me a goddamn building. It was like, because I was giving raves and it was like, well, you can have this building. I mean, it was a whole old-fashioned big-ass building. Like they say, no windows and shit, but it was rarely used. Because one of my buddies was a mason and they came to me and they was like, look, you can have this building, do what you want with it. We got a lot of old dudes. It was like that show on Fox about this shit. It was that slow. And they was like, you can have this building. You just need to come on in. They like what you're doing in the community. And if you want to do them raves in our building, you can do it. But yeah, they wanted to give me this goddamn building to join their shit. You seen the Grizzlies 40-18? I know the NBA loves Jay Morant. Yeah. Right now, the fucking Edwards, they won again today. The Timberwolves played earlier today. And I didn't watch the NBC game or ABC game. I watched the Timberwolves. I'm an old man and who they played. It'll come to me. Yeah, they traded CJ. Where did Porzingis go? They traded him too. Do you think Morant is an MK Ultra athlete? Yeah, he is. I mean, you don't understand. When you put children in AU, they get ranked. So, like, if you've ever been to AU, when they take a headshots, they looking to rank you, and they do that from 3rd, 4th grade. I guess 4th grade. So what would that be? 9, 10, maybe 10 and over age. 10 and over age, 10 and under, or 8 to 10, they get ranked that early. Let me tell you, I did 25 years of doing just AAU. We had a thing that was like right under AAU in Chicago, Wisconsin area. And, it was teams that come in there, all Adidas, already sponsored. All Adidas. I remember Larry Farmer used to be UCLA coach. Larry was coaching Chicago Loyola. He watching 8th graders. But it was like these Chicago 8th graders came in, everybody's 6'4", 6'5". He's sitting there watching them. That might be a stretch, but I think he is. No, I think he is. I think he is, MK Ultra athlete. Win, tell me, how can a guy be 6'7" and can't shoot a basketball, big point guard and play? Shit, no, he's 6'9". Ben Simmons 6'9" and can't shoot. As I said last night, one thing about Ben Simmons you got to understand, that is why he didn't go to a big time school. They hid him at LSU because they knew they didn't have a good team. And they hid Ben Simmons. They hid him because they knew he couldn't shoot. And all nothing but hype under him. Nothing but fucking hype over Ben Simmons. Just like Dante, whatever his name was, that went to Utah, stayed hurt. These dudes be just hype. Think the NBA let Dame win one, let a small market Portland. No. The Bill Walton shit was there. Well, really, the Michael Jordan, when they remember the Pistons beat him, Benny Johnson had the last shot. I think they was looking at Isaiah was in the line of Magic. They was promoting Isaiah. Isaiah was in that line, so they let them win 2. Technically, they should have won the year before. Remember, Isaiah destroyed his ankle. Isaiah got the record for 25 points in a game in a quarter, something like that, with a bad ankle. So the year before, and then remember the next year, Byron was out. Magic ended up going out. Magic did the fake injury. Magic coming down court, then he's grabbing his hamstring, and he's like, damn, I'm hurt. He's so fake. And there wasn't nothing wrong with Byron Scott, excuse me. Wasn't nothing wrong with Magic. So they gave that shit to the Pistons the second one. No, I don't think they're going to let Dame win in Portland. Next year, I see LeBron getting 6'6" too early. Yeah, I don't think so either. Sixers losing finals. Y'all got money right on Lakers winning it all. I don't know. I think the Warriors are the best team right now. I'd like to see Wiggins win. Um, don't see them. I mean, they're gonna have to play in. I just what is gonna make them go up and down better? I mean, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look for scripting for the Lakers. You think the NBA will win? No, I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna let Dame win a championship. I'd be surprised. Might be next year. Just depends on who they bring in. They like Chauncey, so maybe. Chauncey's second year. No, I don't think he'll win one. I don't think so. Who does Zach pick for NBA? I know who to avoid. I don't know. I don't know who Zach picked, but he was wrong like a motherfucker. Even Rambo. Even Rambo. But I stuck to my guns, as I said last night. They just don't like new teams winning. Not to say new teams ain't won, but they just it's like college basketball is the same way with Gonzaga last year. That was the same way. They really don't like teams that haven't won it. Baylor won it in the early 60s. So we had Baylor winning. Do they understand their involvement? You know what? Sometimes they might not. Sometimes they really might not. And if you say, is there an organic side of it? Some dudes just fit that role. Like the guy I'm talking about was my handler in Kalamazoo. He just fit that role. He loved children. He's the one responsible for football in the colored neighborhood. He was the one that put football in the colored neighborhood. So that's a handler. He put football in the colored neighborhood. So all the people he handled that got interested in football. So some of it was organic. But again, he's talking to these peoples. Like I said, one dude that broke my heart, we had him a scholarship to Central State. All he had to do was go ride with us down there. All he had to do is ride with us down there. We was going to bring him back, and then we was going to take him back. Me and this dude hooping, hanging and stuff. And so I guess you could look at me, but it was like one of my handlers had one of them lines. And they was like, you know him? I'm like, yeah. He called me like, you know so-and-so? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Central State wanting. Central State wanting. So we had it all planned out. I called down there, talked to the people. The dude I'm saying is a handler, we was all set to take him. I saw the dude the day before, talked to his mama, because I know his mama. Didn't show up, wasn't at home. He avoided us. And then he didn't see me for a month. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I was doing blah, 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 blah. But, he didn't want to go. So do they understand their involvement? Maybe not. But that's what they do. So there is a little bit of an organic side behind it, because some of them, that's just the role they play. That's the role they play. That's a good point. That is a good point. Not being an international player. They don't really, they did the psyop of San Antonio, but how long was people going to believe that? Picks in the NBA, I think the opposite. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith he got Big House Gaines. He got Big House Gaines put out of Winston-Salem, so fuck Stephen A. Smith. Big House Gaines was an institution. He was old. I feel you. He was an old coach, but fuck that, How much coaching a coach really got to do at a point? He don't do his practices as assistant practices. Oh, he handles the games. Big House Gaines institution down there in Winston-Salem State. And Smith got him fired. What do you think about the whole Russian-Ukraine shit going on? That shit is wag the dog. That shit is wag the dog. Totally wag the dog. That is what them war hawks do. That is what them Democrats do when the shit go bad. Start a war. It's not even a conspiracy when the $1 trillion was missing, and Rumsfeld tells them $1 trillion is missing. And they say, where you go? And he laughs, I don't even know. I don't even know. Them Bushes is tied up to stealing that Nazi gold. The biggest theft in the world is them Nazis, that Nazi gold they took. Back then, $22 million worth of gold back then that the Nazis had took. Patton's Third Army. So if you look at thinking that Patton, they killed Patton on purpose. They could very well have. They could very well have, because Patton's people is the one that found the Nazi gold. And then after Patton gets in an accident, which makes no sense, the gold disappears. But if you investigate that shit again, look it up, you see them bushes all over that shit. Oh, he went to Washington. And see, that's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. You get rid of Kuzma. You get rid of Cole Pope. That was your shooters. That made no sense to get this dude who can't shoot. I mean, what was Porzingis thinking about? What was Rob Porzingis thinking about to pick up Westbrook? That made no sense. I mean, just as you see Porzingis, Cole Pope play, that made no sense. Here's a dude that need the ball. Now, as I said, I've said it. He's a slasher. He'll be okay because he's so quick. They ain't running him like that. They ain't having him throw off and then go run and slash. And the guy really never been a shooter. I mean, he layups out of control. I mean, he's been out of control his whole life. I need that he wore the dress though. Now, for y'all saying about the Lakers, Westbrook did wear the dress. So that's got to be in consideration. Because Westbrook did wear the dress. So, but again, from them to play in and be a low seed after play the Warriors, is that believable that they just get so good and beat the Warriors? Because they're gonna be a low seed. So I just don't see him turning around. And then we got the All-Star game coming. They let Towns get in, but they didn't let Edwards get in, which is some bullshit. LaMelo playing just as good, Edwards playing just as good as LaMelo. Matter of fact, I think his stats is even better. But they didn't let Edwards in, which was some bullshit. I watch all the Timberwolves game. Yeah, he went to the Wizards. Okay. Laker game, yeah, that's a good point, Jack. I would agree. That's what I'm thinking too. And LeBron gonna stay in LA until his son play. I said that. Look at the Gatorade commercial. Maybe I'm going a little to the left, but damn, sometimes I feel like some of the immediate family members are handlers. Definitely. They are. That's why I say on the organic side, that's the organic side of it. But if you look at their role and you look at their role to others, they pushing people to avenues. They pushing the people to avenues. They know the avenues. And yeah, it could definitely be family. My father was a fucking government agent. My father spied on the Panthers that was in Michigan. He spied on the black movement that was in Michigan. They took my father to New York. I mean, here's my father, a poor person, very poor. They put him in Job Corps. Y'all got to look up Job Corps. They put him in Job Corps, and my father disappears in New York for about a year or two. Hey, Jody, what's happening? They partying out there. What's happening, Strong Discernment? Thank you for joining. And so, my dad was an agent. My uncle right now is an agent. My uncle keep an eye on me. I know he does. I mean, it's some shit, like I said before, some shit happened to me where, the people that tried to explain what happened couldn't even explain it. The person that ran the agency went to me and she sat there with me and said, I don't even know how this is possible. And this is before I'm doing this. I'm not, maybe I just started on Zach's, I was calling in once a week on Zach's channel when he first started, summer 15 maybe, summer 16. I'm nowhere near what I'm doing now. And this shit had happened to me. And there's some other shit that happened, this year that's like, yeah, that's them. That's them fucking with me, but that's all right. I realize I'm the storm. And it's like, okay, I don't talk about it. You did it. I'm moving on. That's how you got to do it. But yeah, family definitely can be handlers. Yeah. So I say, my father's a fucking agent. I know he was. My father spied on black folks in New York. He spied on colored people in New York. He came back to Michigan, spied on the campus of colored people. He would sit there. It's funny, like what happened. And my father, like Eldridge Cleaver called it the Lazarus effect. If you read Soul on Ice, the Lazarus effect. It's like my father's generation, just to them, success was having a European woman. That was success to them. It was like I used to watch him with my second stepmother, and it's like just the look on his face that made him a man. Isn't that some shit? and I'm going off a little bit. I'm sorry. My stepdad had a Mason sticker on his truck not too long ago. Then he in it. He in it. Because what it's saying is, if you stop me, I'm one of them. I'm a traveler. Remember Rosewood? The reason why they helped the dude to really beat up the girl, he was like, I'm a traveler. They was trying to show you that black folks is all in that shit. Natives too. Natives too. Natives like Cheeto Paul, he get mad. The dude who made my pipe, Charles Henderson, they all Masons too. So even hey, what is you doing up so late? There he is. This is my brother, Return of the Sir Merlin and the Serpent. Y'all should get on his stuff. Y'all want to hear deep stuff? He's got the deepest. He's got the deepest. Yeah, we took mom to I can't even think of the goddamn place. It was still, where the little town she lived in. It was around the corner, but good food. Brennan came, Keelan came, and Nat, of course, because Nat was with me this weekend. So, but we've got to come to Michigan. We got business with you, so I'm probably gonna have to come because there's no way to get around it. Emily said we could get around it, but I don't think I can get around it. So might have to come to Michigan to do some business with you. Do you think they're gonna let Luka get a ring? You know what? I said this last night. They don't really like Luka. Luka's rubbing people the wrong way. He's not getting the calls this year, and it's not. I don't think it's a shame year. It's like something about him they found don't like about him. Because as you see, all that light he got the last couple of years, he ain't getting this year. And it is something about him because Porzingis wanted out. Porzingis didn't like him. And Porzingis' game is not that great. So, yeah, I don't think so. Again, that team is kind of taking Utah, and that team is taking Utah's place in all these foreign players. And so Luka, he's going to be in an all-star game. I think he got voted in, which, again, you can't believe that shit, the voting. But Luka rubs the system the wrong way, it appears. It's something in the system that he rubs the wrong way. So they took a lot of that light out. Great way to put it, traveler. Thanks. Oh, yeah, that's what you'll see them say, But that's in Rosewood. And one of the people on Facebook was like, all of them know. All of them don't know. All of them don't know. I used to, like I said, the dude who initiated me getting the building, his name was Beaver Combs was his real name. Little Beaver Combs out of Texas, American Indian. And he was, he's a Mason. He used to tell me a story. It was kind of funny. He used to tell me a story. He said, as soon as he would hit Texas roads, the motherfucking police and everybody would be notified that this motherfucker was in town. He said by the time he got to his mama's house, he said patrol cars and shit would be there. Luka is already a made man. He is king of Slovenia. That is interesting. Because, again, what they did with him, and I've told this story, and I'll tell a little bit briefly, they used to follow tall people home. They'd be in Europe, the NBA would follow tall people home, try to see if they had tall children. So Luka was put under a system just like a child in America would be put under a system. So why do you think Luka playing pro basketball at 13? As you know, Europe, they don't have high school basketball. But Luka was playing college-like level at 13, pro level. At pro level, he was playing. At 13, he was playing in pro level. He was on one of the top leagues. What's up, everyone that just got off work? Big Pontiac didn't know you was going live this early. Yeah, I had to go in early while the Super Bowl energy is there. Just get that out the way. That energy is there and break it down. Another offer, they lose the coin toss. Will they ever change the script? And I've said that Al Michaels said he said in so many Super Bowls, the team that lost the coin toss lost the Super Bowl, and don't say I didn't warn you. That's the fuck what he said. That's what Al Michaels said. I mean, they try to script it the whole thing, and then of course the online betting. Like just think with Odell's catches and shit. If you had Odell and how many catches he made in totals, he probably didn't reach it. Now, Kupp was going to be an easy pick, but the odds wasn't as great as Odell. And Odell didn't even make the second half. But yet they let him make them explode plays in the first half. Yeah, you can't sleep. Yeah, I'll be having that shit too. Give me a call. Give me a call tomorrow, and I'll give you some exercises and shit. Cause you. Yeah, never mind. What's up, everyone that just got off work? Okay. Yeah, all I was gonna say is it's just like you and mom had that where you guys don't sleep. But like when I stay up, if I broadcast from 12 to 2, shit, I stay up an hour after I broadcast. So, and then gotta get up at 7, 8. Don't get much sleep. Him and Chase definitely had those gloves. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He caught the ball cone. That's why I didn't do a thing of the Giants player catching the cone, because I had already showed the Michigan player catching the cone. So this is the 7th Super Bowl winner of a toss, I believe, because they lost Rams lost the toss. The Bengals had the ball in the second half, deferred. So, but they look good. I mean, I was thinking it was going to be another him blowing. I mean, really, like I don't think Jefferson caught a ball. Like he was not being accurate to Jefferson. Not at all. Not at all. Jefferson was open in the end zone both times down the sidelines. He just didn't throw in good passes to catch. And so the quarterback can be more accurate. He wasn't accurate to him. But yet Culp is guarded tight. It was like the second interception. Did I make a video on that tip drill? The second interception was done by the tip drill. I think it was number 18. It boom, 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 right to the receiver. I don't know if I've released that video or not, but I thought it did. But it was a tip drill. You hit it, you bobble it, and you just happen to go back. I got so many questions. Yeah, I got to give you a call. I got to give you a call, too. I got to give you a call. I'll give you a call. Definitely. That's why I said I had to take a screenshot of your number, because I know the email was going to get lost. That shit, I get so many emails. Next year, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. We got to see the way they put in pieces. I mean, already, the Chiefs is going to be decent. The Rams is going to be decent again. The Bengals are going to be decent again. So Houston, I'll tell you, the Titans, they're not high on Tannehill. So because they was talking about getting rid of Tannehill. So Rodgers going to the Titans. That could be Rodgers going to the Titans. Because Tannehill had 3-4 interceptions that game? I mean, but fuck, how did the Titans lose a game where you sack a motherfucker 9 times? That makes no sense. But that's just what's in the script. Isn't it funny that no one plays bump and run coverage like back in the day? Because you really can't. Like, I read a book about a dude who admitted that he was a cheater called Johnny Sample. I can't admit Admissions of a Dirty Player by Johnny Sample. He was great at that shit. He was probably the one that invented the way you cover a receiver. I mean, the old rules of the old NFL was you could push him, hand fight him until the ball was in the air. So as he's getting free, like now you can't make contact in the NFL after 5 yards. Old bump and run, you could push the fuck out of him. Lester Hayes, the old Patriot Mike. It was Lester Hayes. I think his name is Mike Hayes. Used to play for New England, and then he ended up going to Raiders and won the Super Bowl to Raiders. But he's in the Hall of Fame. Mike Hayes, I think his name is. So at what point would the tip drill is actually a feature in Madden called tip drill? Yeah, I mean you practice that. As receivers, we practice it. As DBs, they practice it. Linebackers practice it. If you playing like a 9 position, you a rush in or stand up in, you practice that shit. That's something. That's one of the drills you do as a receiver, tip drill. You run to the coach, pop it up in the air, guy behind you catch it. Titans now winning the Super Bowl now. Titans, Cardinals, Detroit. Who else? Trying to think who else, but those 3 teams for sure will never win a Super Bowl. Chargers will never win a Super Bowl either. Yeah. Bears have won a Super Bowl. They won one in 85. Will they win another one? Doubtful. Very doubtful they'll let them win another one. Like, really, the only reason the Giants won, because Giants is one of the oldest teams. That's how you got to look at Giants winning, too, is Giants is one of the oldest teams of the NFL. That's why the Bears got to win in 85. Shit, the Bears should have won in 86. Look at the Titans. All they need is a quarterback. Almost have everything else but a quarterback. Yeah, they're talking about rumors about, do they want to pay Tannehill off? Because he got a big contract. Tannehill probably making 30 plus. I don't think he's making that 40 like Mahomes, but I think he's making 30 plus. That's why I'm saying, the guys are so well paid. That's what you got to understand. The guys are so well paid where it's not hard for them to do a script. They've done the script in college, so they already know it. On you picking the Rams, you called that one. Yeah, Lorenzo, I did. I said, I kept harping and saying they don't like new teams to win, And I won the under 2, baby. Like somebody said, they ain't got paid. Shit. It was like almost 10-9, 8-7. After the game was over, my money hit. Yeah, my money hit. Now, I did lose on my Rams in 4, but last night I picked up some Rams in 5. And I did lose my hedge bets with the Bengals, but wasn't much on that. But the Rams in 5 kind of saved me from, the Rams. Browns probably won't ever win a Super Bowl in our lifetime either. I agree. Not them. The Browns won't win. You're right. I forgot about them. They won't win. I seen Russell Wilson sitting with Dell at many big games. Wonder why. That's what I was saying. We talked about that earlier. He's going to be in the commissioner's office. That's why. They're showing you that he's going to be in the commissioner's office, which is interesting because all the commissioners have been fucking lawyers. I don't think he's a lawyer. But I think that's what they're grooming him for, is to be in the commissioner's office. So don't be surprised once he retires, he'll be in the commissioner's office. I wouldn't even be surprised they're grooming him to be commissioner. Because Goodell was shit with Tannenview, were the commissioner before him. He was in the office. He was one of the lawyers, I do believe. Or I think so. But that's what I think. That's what the visual looks like. Commanders for Wilson. Players Association or Commanders for Wilson. The Commanders, yeah. Somebody just said that Cleveland new name. They even gave Cleveland new name. Will Baltimore get one with Lamar? They've won 2. Yeah, I would say probably 1. It's hard because remember, Lamar, he's followed the script. When he had a chance to get a first down to beat the Titans, remember, he just ran into the back of his men. I mean, that should be just so like ridiculous how they don't try. How they don't try. Yeah, baseball lockout. What do you think? Well, what the owners have offered in the pool of arbitration is the owners have offered a pool of $6 million. The players want arbitration, a pool of $22 million. And so, yeah, lockout. We're weeks from the catchers and pitchers supposed to report. So right now, until they get that on arbitration, $6 million ain't a big pool. They saying $22 million. That's a bigger pool, and that's the sticking point. I say it's going to be baseball shortened season. Colts is a team that back away from possible big things too. Yeah, we was talking about maybe Rodgers going there, possibility. I'm watching NFL Network right now, and they must have heard you because they show the teams that never hosted the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Yeah, I mean that's a mocking. And these teams ain't gonna never win. Detroit definitely not, and I don't care. I mean, Clay Ford ran that place, and their heyday was with Bobby Lane, and they said that Bobby Lane cursed them. He said for 50 years you'll never win. And that lined up almost exactly when they had them losing season. Wasn't Stafford the quarterback then when they didn't win? When that defensive coordinator was the coach, who was the Eagle. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. So he was a head coach with the Lions, and they lose all their games, and then he ends up getting the defensive coordinator job. He's not with the Eagles. He's moved on. So, yeah, it's a mocking. But they don't care because, it's another, they get paid. But I tell you the thing, the players, oh my goodness, I remember at one point we had a couple of dudes from South Carolina State, and they had a homegirl that went to A&T, and they was at the games, and they was saying back in the 80s how they made 10 for every playoff game. I think it's something like 50. And I think the winners get 250 racks and the losers get about 100. But them other 2 games you get paid for too. I think there's like 50 if you know winning those other games. Even if you lose, you get paid extra money in the playoffs. You know, and then the bonuses kick in too. It's like Cup getting MVP is probably a bonus if they wrote that in his contract. No NBL season. Yeah, that's I think till that pool, until they figure out the arbitration with the players wanting a pool of 22 million, the owners offer 6. That's a big gap. So to figure that out, yeah, it won't be baseball. The Detroit Windsor tunnel is pissing Whitmer off. Yeah, they blocked that shit up. And, you know, that affects, you know, because a lot of auto industries is over there in Windsor. You know, that's Ontario, you know, and it's trucks back blocking that off. And that affects the auto industry because there's still a few auto industry suppliers in Detroit, but a lot of auto industry and suppliers in Windsor. So, you know, that was part of that NAFTA shit, you know. Yeah. You know, it's funny, that NAFTA shit, when I sold a lot of weed, that shit was perfect because we had trucks coming in. That's what NAFTA did. It was like the NAFTA trucks didn't get inspected. Isn't that some shit that Clinton put in there? NAFTA trucks did not get inspected at the borders. And so weed was coming in freely. So thank you, Clinton, for the NAFTA. Hey, what's up? Texas Southern winning swag next year. What about Jackson State? What about Dion and his son? Dion put his son in the league. What you think? And, you know, A&T is in a fucked up situation because Hampton left the Colonial Conference, and they only have, I think, 6 teams. I think you got to have 8 teams. So A&T is going to be moving to that other conference that Hampton went to, I'm pretty sure. Because A&T stepped up all Division I, everything. Like when I played, we was Division II, but Division I basketball. Now everything is Division I, but Hampton left that, and so A&T is in a fucked up situation. They're going to end up having to leave that conference. So I don't know. Jaguars are only in Jacksonville for jobs, the community, not for a trophy. I agree, and that's one of the few stadiums that's still up that I played in. And that stadium used to be called the Gator Bowl. I mean, they fixed it up, but it's the same place. Ain't too many stadiums left. Orange Bowl, of course, A&T Stadium, which fuck that shit, 40 years old now. Falcons. Yep, I agree. Falcons is never make it either. I agree. Falcons could win the Super Bowl one day, and they have been a big game a few times. Probably, yeah. No, I don't think they're gonna let them win either. Danny Jacobs was a boxer who got robbed on Saturday to a European. Black History Month mocking. Wow. Yeah, it's Black History mocking. Yes. Hey, Brisk Clown, what's happening? Glad for you to join. Hey, Jody. I posted a video on Jacksonville today. MJ. Okay, I'll check it out. I like your hair. It looks nice. Looks nice, Miss Jody. And Miss Jody is deep. I gotta have Miss Jody on again. She was on my other channel. I don't think she's been on this one. So Jody's got a channel. Subscribe to her. She has some experiences. She has some experiences how this system works too. Firsthand experience. She's more on the entertainment side than the sports side, but it's the same rituals, for both. It's the same rituals. I've been to them parties. Shit, I went to a party where this was in Greensboro, and I ain't gonna say the pro player's name, but he played for the Hawks, played for the Carolina Cougars. So I ain't gonna say his name though. But this motherfucker, like, you went in, you had to take off your clothes, and they gave you linen. They gave you the linen tops, the linen bottoms, drugs everywhere. This motherfucker had a tree they said was 400 years old. It was in the center. As you walk in, this motherfucker was in the center of the house. It was an atrium over it. But this motherfucker was a living tree. And next to the tree, like over, was the motherfucking staircase, not a double staircase, but like a big ass staircase. But you walk, and then it was so interesting because it was wings. Like from the tree was wings of the house and shit. It was really but the tree was like, I'm like in there, and I'm high and shit, and I'm like, God damn. But it was like, you could fuck anybody you wanted. I mean, it was just full of that kind of ritual. It was a big sex ritual thing. One of my teammates hit me to it, and we went, and it was like, whoa. It was like, whoa. And it was like the first time I really saw massive amounts of cocaine, like massive amounts. I was like, oh shit. But I was like, fuck, 20? Jackson State will run the whole thing like they did, missing a few key pieces. They had a year Texas Southern's. Okay. Yeah, they lost though when they played whatever bowl they went into, they got smashed. That's a good question because they wanted to be Luka, they wanted to be Giannis because again they want the NBA to be 50% foreign players. As I said the other night, that is why the real reason for the G League. They're going to let these Americans just spin around, get these 10-day contracts while they bringing in Europeans, while they bringing in Africans. They've enhanced the African League. Like I was saying with Luka, they got people that they handpicked that go through and they bring them from Europe. Giannis was probably one of them too. That from the time they little boys, if they tall, their parents tall, you see that they let two of his brothers in the league. Why? His brother that played with them, his brother that got a ring with the Lakers. Them dudes can't play. So it's hard to say who they want to put in there now because Chris Paul old as LeBron. It's funny how they don't really talk about how old Chris Paul is, but LeBron they talk about how old. They're about the same age. Carmelo, all them about the same age, 37, 38, somewhere in there. So. As I said, Luka he's rubbed somebody the wrong way because that's really who they want to be the face. This year, not a lot of national games. Maybe Spider Mitchell, he's a little dude, get hurt all the time. It's hard to say right now. Embiid, maybe, because they pushed Embiid a few years ago with them commercials. But, they did Embiid like they did Shaq. Well, if you practice basketball a little more and aren't in so many movies and commercials, maybe you'll be better. That's how they did Embiid to get him from doing commercials. And you notice Luka ain't got no commercials. That shit happened a lot. Do you think Deion was playing it? Absolutely. He went to Florida State. I mean, remember, Deion was playing pro baseball in college. How you think he afforded all that food? When they showed him pictures of him, he at Jackson State. But in the summertime, he's playing semi-pro baseball. And then that's what was fucked up. They would let you play semi-pro baseball, but if you played semi-pro basketball, which most summer leagues are semi-pro technically, they kind of want to fuck with you over that shit. Like it's a lot of rules you got to step under. Baseball, play pro. You can play pro baseball in college and still play college baseball. But you try to do that shit in the NFL, you tried to do that shit in basketball, they wouldn't let you do it. They held back. Like my freshman year, they wouldn't let me play in they had a game with Magic in them. Them motherfuckers wouldn't let me play. I'm at your gym. I'm the best motherfucker there that's playing against Magic in them. I was the best player in Kalamazoo, bar none, at 18 years old. I was better than all the old head hoopers. I was better than Western Michigan University players. In that game, I was the best player in Kalamazoo. And they wouldn't let me play. They was like, you can't play. It's going to hurt your eligibility. We looked it up. They was full of shit. They just didn't want me to play against Magic. How about a famous receiver for the Vikings dish, Joe and Mom? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they learned about these people very early. I've been to all the, that AAU stuff where they taking pictures, how players get ranked. You put your children in that, that's what's going to happen. They play AAU, they're going to get ranked. Like I said, 20 years ago, I'm seeing teams, all Adidas gear, all bags, warm-ups, shoes, jerseys, teams, not one team. I'm seeing multiple young dudes, 10, 12, 14, already sponsored by these people. Don't you realize that they got basketball academies? They have basketball academies that you can put your children in that they guarantee your children will make the team moving forward. And this has been going on. I mean, Chicago was the first area I saw to do this. Now, by now, most places do it. But these are professional. These are handlers, but these are preparing your children to play in this level. And it ain't free. You got to pay for that shit, but this is what they do to our children. They let Luka in the league. Yeah. Look at the B-Bolt, whatever his name is, the one I show you, this non-human, the 7'5" dude. Why is he holding the spot? Why is he on all these commercials? This dude is not handsome. And I say he's a non-human. Bobot, whatever his name is. He's in the State Farm commercial talking about, the dude's talking about everybody, NBA players want rings. He's in all these damn commercials. He's in the pecan commercials. Why? Why is this non-human in all these commercials? Why is this non-human still in the goddamn league? Get mad about that shit. They pushing LeBron's son. Do you think they'll play together? Absolutely. The Gatorade commercial. Remember the Gatorade commercial where they show the young boy go to Duke? Shorter dude, 6'2", 6'3", shorter guy like his son. Show him going to Duke. At Duke, he takes the last shot that loses the national championship. Funny talking, your lips get chapped when the heat is on. And then he played Lakers. That's the Gatorade commercial. Y'all remember that? Oops, I'm beating up the mic. So yeah, they'll play together. No doubt. They'll play together. It was like how they was pushing Michael Jordan's younger son. His younger son was better. One of the times I saw Larry was I was doing a game and both the boys was there. Marcus and Jeffrey was there. And Jeffrey was clearly better as they was younger. I mean, these wasn't tall dudes, but Jeffrey had more skill. They had a bodyguard, and then Larry was there. And then I had refed some games, and I got done, got to holler at him. Larry got a big-ass head, but Larry could get up. He was one of the few players that really, when I was at my peak of 47-inch vertical, it was like when we played intramural, Larry'd be right there. If I didn't get the tip, Larry'd be like hitting the rim and shit at 5'9", 5'10", maybe. I don't think he that tall. He got a big-ass head, though. His head ain't no OJ head, but Larry got a big-ass head. Regardless of his brother, could that also be recruited tactic when he's a free agent? Could be. Yeah, could be. To keep my brothers here. I feel better. Hey, Trill, what's happening? I roll with the Bengals, but I would have won the spread over and under. Yeah, I told you that under. I was emphasizing was the under. I was sure of that more than anything. Hey, Key, thank you for joining me. My bad when you say non-human. What do you mean? Yeah, non-human. Fuck, non-human. And he ain't got to be, I can't tell you where the fuck he's from. He's not human. I mean, we got non-humans, movie stars. Common story. I told you, there was a stripper, and they call her E.T., but this chick wasn't just a non-human. My other son used to date her. She was in my house in the summer. Definitely non-human. And she was melanated. She was a colored girl. Non-human, though. And so Bobot is not a human being. He is something else. Now, that don't necessarily mean an alien. I mean, it's a lot of things that have been here. It's a lot of things that come in this vibration, that come in this reality. And it don't mean they came from a goddamn space saucer. Don't mean that shit. But whatever he is and whoever created him, because he was created, he ain't human. I played against both. Jeffrey was definitely better. They played at Loyola. Yeah. I'm trying to think the first place I played at that had collapsible rims was it Loyola or Chicago State? Because my cousin Ralph Gant and brother named Tank was one of the, I talk about Tim Reed. Tank was a bad motherfucker. Tank was like 6'5". Tank wasn't as a good outside shooter as Tim Reed, but Tank was unstoppable at 6'5". They won the Division III championship at Chicago State. I wish I knew Tank's real name, but Tank was a motherfucker. He was one of the best players up to when I met him. It was like he came to one of our family reunions and we was playing and nobody could stop him. And they was like, you got to come to Chicago. So I went down there and played. And that was the first time I saw collapsible rims. And the Generation 1 collapsible rims was the easiest to dunk on of all of them. It was like, really, you just put the ball on the rim and it would fold down. It was easy to dunk. It was like in some ways, the Generation 1 collapsibles, they were so easy to dunk on because they collapsed really easy. So you just, like if you didn't jump over the rim, if you just got up, a lot of times you would just touch the rim and you could push it in because it collapsed so easy. And that was the 1 gen. Now, we were probably in the 3rd gen. But yeah, Jeffrey was better. Jeffrey was definitely better. But yeah, I used to play all through Chicago. Shit, we did a game. I reffed the game. It was a gang game. I don't know if it was the Al Ripkins, against Disciples. I don't remember, but we made a lot of money for doing one game. And because nobody refs was scared. And it was like, gangs, both sides and shit. But it was it wasn't Midnight League, it was another tournament. And yeah, we made a killing on that game. I've said this before, like we used to do a tournament with the Mexican brothers, and the tournament directors came to us before, and it was like it was a league. It wasn't even a tournament, it was like a league, it was a semi-pro league. And they told us, they was like, give us a heads up. They're like, look, they're gonna fight every game. They're gonna fight every game. And you kind of just gotta let them fight, and then they'll resume play. And that was the funniest shit. They, sure enough, they would fight, and then we would just let them fight, and then they would play like nothing happened. And maybe they'd start fighting again, but it was just the funniest shit. They would fight every time they played. They would fight, and we just let them fight. That's what they let them fight. People talking about they flipped the script. They didn't flip no script. It's just that people were looking too much into Joe. Yeah, that's where Zach and even Rambo. Zach and Rambo suckered in a lot of people. They suckered. The year of the tiger. This animal was killed. That animal was killed. It all lines up to Joe. And then I started busting people's bubbles like every Joe that's in the Super Bowl won. No, Joe Cap lost. And Joe Namath, the only quarterback that won the national championship and won the Super Bowl. Only Joe Namath. And look how long ago that is. That's 50 years ago. So, okay. Black's Law, person, a human being, an entity, corporation recognized by law as having the most rights and duties of a human being. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's right in there. Man, Joseph L. was saying, like, if you got an 8th edition Black Law, he was showing some laws that's in the back of it. And sure enough, because I got on ebook, I got a 1st edition, but my physical Black Laws is an 8th. And sure enough, that shit he was talking about was in there. I was like, damn, I didn't even read this part. Hey, Lobo, what's happening, man? Yeah, we called it tonight. Y'all watch Lobo. Lobo shows about the grip gloves and the scripting. And so, good brother. So, and I like that, people can enhance the work. I like that. I know limit. I know my limits. You see, I don't even know how to fucking screen share. So I know my limits. So I like people that can make the work look good. There's a couple brothers out there. And I like that because I know my limits with my dyslexia and shit, and fucking with this shit. I just, like even getting this mic going, it's like it worked. The mic worked, the shit work. I don't think I can get the effects to work because they're not seeming to work. So I got to keep fucking with it, and got to get the, maybe get this shit repaired and get the computer fixed and shit. Do a show with Lobo. Have him on. They kind of made it too obvious with the home teams winning back to back. It's funny. Deion Sanders was guaranteed that it would never happen. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be opposite. I knew when he said that it would never happen. Yeah, okay. They love that shit. They love that shit. That's why they put it there. That's why they put it in Tampa. That's why they put it the Rams. They love that. Don't look into the fact that the Bengals is a team that the NFL would never win a championship. I give you credit. You did call that. Yeah, I was saying, they just don't. The main point was they don't like new teams winning. That's the main point. They really don't. And yeah, people are showing new teams. Yeah, my Eagles finally won. But again, the Eagles is one of the teams from the Eagles. My book is right here, but shit, the Eagles probably been in the NFL since the 30s. Probably 6-7 years after the league started. It's one of the early oldest teams. They tend to like to let some of the oldest teams win too. I was in class. He was unbelievable to see a person. He's the most athletic person I've ever met before. Oh, I was in Dro's class. Oh, okay. He was the most athletic person before injuries. Yeah, I've met a lot of cats like that. I met a cat that he was in the Dallas Mavericks organization. They was just doing what was they doing? Like they came in, took his physical, and they was just doing some workouts. And you know where you got to jump up and slap the little things that move, when you to show how high you jumped. He just did that, tore up his knee. This dude's 6'7", 6'8", could handle, but he tore up his knee. Never was as mobile. Matter of fact, I had a record one time because I hit the next to the highest. Again, it was 47 inches. I hit the next highest. I think 50 inches was the highest on that one. And for the Jets, for a long time, I had the record for the Jets. That was when I ran that 4.4. Because they was looking at me and Wayman, and I knew Wayman could run a 4.2, 4.3. And sure enough, and Wayman barely beat me. I was on his ass. I was on his ass. And on the team, really, it was only him and Lonnie was faster than me. That was it. I was faster than all the other receivers. But I knew that Wayman would help me run a good time. And I was on his ass, and Raymond ran like a 4.29. I ran a 4.4. Yeah. That was the best time I ever did. But I could consistently do 4.4s after that. Went with that bet on Cincy, they still would have won. Yeah, because they didn't cover. Yeah, you bet on Cincy, you took the points, you won. You won. Yeah, a lot of Cincy, a lot of Bengal fans won. You understand? Rams, you didn't win unless you got in last night. Unless you got in last night where it was 5.5. If you didn't get to that, you lost. As I said, my Ram picks lost. My hedge won because I did a hedge bet, but the over and under was where all the money was. Or the Anunnaki, Africa. Could be. Zach is my man, but I know he fixing to catch hell. Yeah, him and Rambo both. Him and Rambo both. But see, they don't do, again, you got cats that ain't into sports. They don't do a detailed look at the sport. They look at the numbers. That's all they go by. They don't look at all the rituals. This thing is ritualistic too. Oh, no problem, brother. I like solid people. I caught about two of them. One was Jamar Chase one-hand catch on their first drive. Yeah, I had to show a video of that. Because he caught it just like, what's the Giants player? He caught it to nose. But you see the same thing when Michigan played Ohio State. The back came out the backfield and caught the same kind of nose catch. So that's why I didn't do the Giants. But plus, I didn't see it till, a couple weeks later. But I didn't. But, it's like I had already done a catch like that to show you the gloves. The Eagles won because they threw that first Super Bowl matchup against the Pats also. First Super Bowl matchup against the Pats. Okay. And, I'm an Eagles fan, and won a little money on that one too. I went to all that Super Bowl shit. That shit was fun but that's the thing. But I know, with the Floyd shit is bullshit. Don't get me talking about that because remember, we had the Super Bowl here and we had the Final Four. And my boy does Uber and he thought he was going to make money. Dwayne Brown is one of the Craig Facts guys. He said he was going to make a lot of money Uber. And I told him, get a limo. And he said that the guy with the goggles wears limo because when people came in town, the limo people made money. It wasn't the Ubers. People came in town wanted limos. Oh, but my point was, when we went to the Super Bowl, it was an army of motherfuckers. And, they had the Homeland, too. We went to the Final Four shit. They had all the festivities for the Final Four shit. It's an army of motherfuckers downtown. Now the Floyd shit come, and ain't no army police people. And now they saying they ain't got enough people. When I've witnessed the army of police in this town, and now they say that the police can't cover the colored people that live on the north side. The fuck, this is playing bullshit. How you go from having a goddamn army? Where'd they go? All them people disappeared? These, it was Homeland Security, but it was an army of Minnesota police, MPS. And now you tell me that they need more people. When I witnessed the army, I know what the fuck, like I told my best friend, I did a video on my other channel, like, I know the fuck when I'm in an occupied area. I've got enough experience. It was occupied by these motherfuckers. So again, the terrorist shit and whatever, but where they go now to help people? I saw that too, saying Burrow was the next Brady. Only thing I saw with Burrow was him maybe the second quarterback to win the Super Bowl in his second division. That didn't happen. And remember, I showed a video maybe on this channel where they hurt Burrow last year on purpose. You might can find that last year on this channel where Burrow got hurt on purpose when they tore his knee up. It was on purpose. His old man backed the guy into his knee. So his first season, he got hurt on purpose. Remember, he got comeback player of the year because he got hurt. Do you think Floyd would go bankrupt? Floyd didn't have that money, they say. I mean, this motherfucker can't read and write. So, you know, Sly does that work. It's like illusion of wealth. Why do you think they all wear the same kind of chains and shit? They all want to wear the Cuban links with the diamond clasp. Why is that? Like, ain't one of them persons like, well, you know, I can afford this shit, but they get the same shit. It's like they've got sweet Byzantines. You can get a Byzantine like this thick. It's just sweet. You don't see that shit. You see all of them, you know, the Cuban links and shit. Why? Why is that? Why do all of them want to show that? Like I was saying, with seeing the, you know, the multiple crystal beads, it's an evilness in that. It's a misuse in that. Because you see these people that are part of this thing, and then they're trying to show the crystal stuff. So it's a corruption. You know, they're corrupting his energy. So yeah, he's, you know, Joe Louis. You know, Joe Louis. Look at how they hounded and killed Joe Louis. Joe Louis did 2 fights for the Navy. Gave all the money to the Navy. Charity, $1 million gate, gave it all for 2 years. 2 fights, he did that. And Tex Rickard didn't do his taxes. He got tax money he didn't even get. And you know, you read about Joe Louis, what they was doing to him. Joe Louis would go be a greeter somewhere. As soon as he got done, they was taking money from him. He go work being a greeter in Vegas, taking the money right there as soon as he getting paid. Hounding him. Joe, you just went so you got money, knocking on his door. You know, he started using cocaine because they brought that shit around him. And they killed that man. They killed that man. But again, this man made millions. And then he died basically hounded. And you know, what did he say? He said, you know, what did the guy call Joe? American race, you know, the human race. And then they did Joe like that. Nobody protected him. The government went after him. They let the IRS harass him. And by the time, the end of his life, he was a broken man in a wheelchair bound, you know, crazy. Once they started calling Burrow the next Brady, I knew the Bengals would get the masses to think, oh, of course. Yeah, I remember Burrow's injury. Yeah, watch that vid. That vid showed that they threw the dude right into his knee. That was a message for him. Beckham sacrificed that injury for Cup. Cup took the MVP. I think so. That's a good point, Lorenzo. He would have been the MVP. I agree. He would have been the MVP. I agree. Because they was actually triple teaming Cup in the zone. They was triple teaming him at one point. That's why Odell was man for man. And remember, Apple, like when I showed the video where Apple ain't guarding the Cleveland or the Bengals player for that touchdown or Cup, Apple ain't guarding Cup. Remember, Apple was the #1 pick for the Giants. They got rid of him within 1 or 2 years. And he done bounced around because he can't cover. He can't cover. The replay made the injury look fake. I thought so too. Who called that though? Come on, somebody come up and say who called that injury, because we was doing, you know, streams the last couple of days and somebody was like, Odell is going to fake an injury. You called that. So whoever that is, you know, take your props. If you watch and take your props, because one of y'all called that. And we sure enough saw it. I was like, damn, I wish I'd have wrote down who said that, because you was right on. So whoever out there called that, you called that. That was good heads up. Oh, and then I bet my son $25, so he owed me $25 too. That nigga owed me money too. So he was like, oh, I got the Bengals. And, you know, he's like, straight up. Okay, straight up. He didn't even take the points. He don't know about the points. I said, straight up? He's like, what do you mean? Yes, straight up. He didn't even take the points. I would have gave them to him too. I'd have gave him 4. But last night was cool. 5.5 last night. That was real cool. So I don't know if people watch. Well, you know, I guess I'm going to call it. I got to get up early. And thank you all. Sorry I didn't get into anything spiritual tonight. Not gonna do a divination. We're not really talking nothing spiritual. But food shortage is coming. I'll tell you what, y'all ready? We seeing less and less. Audis usually have everything, and Audis is you seeing less and less. Walmart, you seeing less and less. We have Cub up here, seeing less and less. Like right now, I'll tell you, I'm a beeraholic. And right now, not really seeing bottled beer anymore. It's been like this since the summer. No bottled beer since the summer. So yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jody. Same to you. Thank you. Good. Yes. Thank you for the good vibes, the good message. That's very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. Apple was terrible in New York when I saw his OBJ, knew he'd kill him. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then he don't drop back. I mean, you playing zone and you don't drop back to that third. That's what his read was. His read was, okay, you see it ain't you see it, and you still would take even read steps. You'd even take read steps. He didn't even take any read steps, to start getting that corner. He just stand there. It's like, imagine this. You standing there and a dude got to run and start on you. And then they talk about, well, it looked like he was going to block, and they did the play action, and they tried to justify it in the second half by showing it again. Remember, they showed the other view from the quarterback's perspective. They showed that other view, and they tried to justify. Fuck that, because I know they was watching my video. Fuck that. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. His thing was deep thirds. They was in zone. He had the deep thirds. Didn't do it. So that's what we see, So it's like you if you took the points, right on for you, you still won. A lot of Cincinnati money out there that took the points. So Cincinnati people won. A lot of money on the Rams that gave up 4 points. You did not win. That's why they missed that extra point right there. You see? Well, thank you, Adam. That is very kind of you to say. So this has been the Super Bowl edition of the Chocolate Mountain Show. I will give the time walking information of Mora. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had exact number of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles. And the great serpent, to all my relations, I am another yourself. Till we meet again, say less. 50, he started performance upside down because of video of that song. But he was chiseled, and he was all fat looking and out of shape and hoarse. But say less.